if your Google Drive for your business is not perfect, if there's some documents in there and some of the folders that you haven't used in a while and you haven't gone through and done a massive cleanse on that, it's okay. I've got a quarterly review to clear out my bookmarks, clear out my drives and stuff. And, sometimes I just delete a bunch of stuff. Sometimes I just leave it. I keep it on there for posterity. I don't do it, for 2, 3, 4 cycles in a row because it's not costing me money, okay? And it's not important. The important stuff is the environment that I can actually see, that there's not clothes and everything lying everywhere. And, this is true in your business too. There'll be, these organizational projects and stuff like that don't cost you money or that don't make you money. In fact, they cost you money because they're taking time away from what's most profitable. And you're constantly putting off these profitable projects to do cleanup or to try and get control over another area because you're actually living in defense. You got smacked a lot of time for not having control over your environment, and you decided to aggressively take control, which is good. You decided to get organized, which is good, but you also decided to be in conservation, to be in defense, to be blocking before you're punching. And I'm telling you, getting out there on offense is the move. Okay, a lot of the best salesmen I knew were really disorganized, and they would get revenue, and they would be really good at it. Okay, but then those guys can afford an assistant to handle their disorganization. If you look at Grant Cardone, he's disorganized, but he's got 1 million organized people around him, cleaning up his mess. He even literally uses that phrase. Okay, now you're not going to be in the position to have this staff of people to clean up your mess, but you do need to put offense as a priority. Okay, defense is great, organization is great. Starting the bottom, basement of your house with organization and control and building on top of that is great, but don't prioritize it over offense. Make wealth a priority over control, wealth a priority over organization, and that's going to clarify a lot of stuff. So if your Google Drive is a little bit disorganized, or if you've got a bunch of documents in your phone that you don't use, or any of these, in your business, some systems are not 100% perfect, but they're not costing you money. It's not a big deal, okay? A lot of the time, just doing less, focusing on solving money, right? Because, if you're not making 6 figures, that's your biggest problem. If you don't have 6 figures in your bank, that's your biggest problem. And that should be assuming you're healthy, that should be the bulk of your time. Or if you're trying to go from 6 figures to 7 figures, like I am, that's the bulk of your time. Getting that handled, and prioritizing that. And there's just so much more you can do with wealth. It never stops. Like physique, you put on 50, 60 pounds and that's it. With wealth, it's just there's guys in the billions. So there's just so much you can do over that, in that level, in that game, that wealth game. Prioritize that over the control game, over the defense, the obsessiveness, the hyper organization, coming from someone who fits a lot of those criteria. When you prioritize wealth, especially if you prioritize savings, making sure that you're adding to that savings target every month, making that a game, it just clarifies things, and you can just relax a lot of that control because you're like, it's all good. I banked 150 grand this quarter, or I banked 150 grand this year, and I banked 50 grand this quarter. It's like, I'm good. As long as I keep doing that, everything's good. I'm going to be protected because I'm aggressively going after finances, and that's going to protect me a lot more than these organizational control mechanisms that I set up. So I hope you found that useful, man. If you want any help with this stuff, revolutionarylifestyledesign.com/coaching. If you want me to tighten up your mindset on a lot of this stuff, or if you're disorganized, if you're watching this video and you're like, I wish I was at the point where I needed to loosen up control, then you need to pick up my book, How to Get Organized, revolutionarylifestyledesign.com/products.